Hi everybody, June here with Red Daisy Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator out of San Antonio, Texas, and I am excited to unbox November Paper Pumpkin with you. Today is November 23rd. It's 4 p.m. Central, and I'm excited to be here. Hi Wanda, thanks for joining. I'm so glad to have you join me this week. We are going to be doing some unboxing today. Before we go to that, though, I want to just say that we are in the subscription period for the December Paper Pumpkin, and that is Watercolor in Bloom, and it looks to be really pretty. There's going to be die cut pieces, vellum pieces, copper, and the colors are going to be garden green, night of navy, pretty peacock, secret sea, and shaded spruce. So those sound like really nice, beautiful colors. And the Abundant Joy dies, the add-on dies, those are still available, I believe, in the store. And so if you haven't gotten those, you might want to cut them. They will only be around until as long as supplies last. So there's also some fun coming for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, so be on the lookout for what Stampin' Up! Is going to be sharing with us. I don't think we know yet, to be honest. We know, I think, some things, but and I do think there's some things around Paper Pumpkin, but make sure you read all the details, which I haven't done yet. So let's go ahead and get our Paper Pumpkin. I'm going to switch us around, and let's go ahead and unbox our Paper Pumpkin. So I see I need to do some adjusting. So let me just see what I can do here. I think that's much better. There we go. All right, so I haven't really even looked at this. So we have a stamp set. We have a little piece of paper that will show that to you much better. Our Stampin' spot this time is Mossy Meadow, so really great. I still think I need to make an adjustment. There, that's better. All right, and so let's get this out of the box and see what we have. Do you have your kit already? Did it arrive? Mine came, of course, on Monday, the day after I wanted it to be here. And so I'm sorry I missed you guys last week. But it's the first time I've ever actually used up all of my kit and didn't really have much left to do with it. So, which is exciting for sure. All right, so we have, looks like some linen thread in here. So we'll get that out. Yeah, it looks like linen thread. Doesn't look like a lot, but there's some linen thread. And then we have some dimensionals and glue dots in here, some very tiny glue dots. Oh my goodness, these are teeny weeny glue dots. And we have mini dimensionals, and then we have some red dots. These look kind of like those brushed glass kind of dots. So they're a little bit satin finish versus super shiny. So we have that. That's good. Okay, we have boxes. Look at these boxes. They are cute. I love the plaid finish on them. Yours arrived 2 days ago. Opened it, made a box. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. The inside is Mossy Meadow. This looks to be like basic beige plaid. We've seen these boxes before. I think the kit was called Good Things Come in Small Packages. I think that was the name of the kit. So we have 8 boxes, and so I know that this was going to be some tags. So looks like we have 2 sheets of tags. Oh, they have a different design on the front and the back. So that's kind of cool. Let's see what else we have. Looks like we have some flags here, some different types of banners, and things like that. That looks fun. We have 2 sheets of that. Oh, we have some paper that's like a little bit like watercolor paper, but these are some bows. Let me see if I can take one out because you're not going to be able to see this very well the way it is. So this is one of the bows here. I need to take these little loops out. And so yeah, nice pretty bow. Nice. All right, then we have some additional die cuts. So let's see here. We have these look like they're all in Mossy Meadow. But oh, so we have one side is basic beige and one side is Mossy Meadow. So looks like, oh, and this one looks like it's Old Olive on the other side of the Mossy Meadow. So a little bit different there. And then this one is back to the Mossy Meadow and the basic beige. And these, you want to be careful getting these out. They can be a bit delicate with their detail. And another wreath here. So just going ahead and popping at least one set of these out so we can see what we have. So there we have that. And it looks like we have 4 sheets of those. So 4 sheets of that. And that gets us to the bottom of our box. So here are the stamps that come in the kit. So we have Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, with love, to from our house to yours, a really cute little wreath, sending a little Christmas cheer, and a gift for you. I like this little stamp right here. That's kind of cute. Oh, beautiful. And so these are the tags that accompany each of the boxes. So they look really pretty. It'd be hard not to just make all of these and use them just like they are. They're so pretty. But I did come with one idea, I think, for an alternate. So if we get time at the end and we haven't gone past our hour, I will make at least one alternate today. So let's just go ahead and get some of our things out. So let's see what we have, what we are going to need for each of these. So already popped out one of those. So let's grab, I'm going to need one of this one. And I get my pieces out of the way. It looks like I need one of these. And then I am going to need the red one. It doesn't seem like we need that on both of them, so you're going to have a lot of extra of those, it seems like. And you do get a bow on each of these, so let me get another one of those out. I wonder if you could do a little watercoloring on these bows with that paper. I wonder what that would look like. A way to maybe make a change to that. That might be an option. And then we have this wreath. Oh, okay, so this one is going here. All right, so we're going to need a green tag here to go with that, and then we're going to need a red one to go with this other one. Then I'll set that aside, and it looks like this wreath is going here as well. And then we have this greenery over here, as well as that greenery. I think that's it. All right, so I'm going to get that out of the way. I'm going to grab a couple, at least one of these boxes. And let me put my things back in the box so I don't get lost. All right, so let's see. How is everybody doing? Where are you watching from? And have you gotten your kit and played with it? Wanda says she's played with hers. So let's see. Looks like we're going to need to do some stamping. So let me grab a couple of my blocks here. And I like to use the ergonomic blocks from the catalog or online store. And when you get your first paper pumpkin, you get a block in there. It's not this one, but I like to use these. So let's see. We're going to use this gift for you, and we are going to need the wreath as well. So we got that, and the Merry Christmas. All right, so we're gonna need all of that for this first card, as well as with love right here. So that is the stamps we need. So let me grab one more little block here for that. And we're going to go ahead and get these put onto blocks. So there's our little with love, and I just do a little rubbing on each of these just to kind of get the film off of the stamp from coming out of the mold that made the stamp. And this seems to really help, and I get a good stamp image when I put these to the ink spot. Usually get a good stamp image the first time, so just sticking to that practice. And then we have the wreath. I'll just get this out of the way on these. And are y'all getting ready for Christmas? I know here in the States we have Thanksgiving coming up this week, and I'm excited for Thanksgiving. I'm looking forward to seeing family. We haven't seen them in a little bit. Now I'm not doing a lot of cooking, but I am going to be making a few things to take. So I'm excited about that. And let's go ahead, and I think this is the first one we're going to work on, so I'm going to move this out of the way for now. All right, so we have our green tag, which is where we're going to do some of the stamping. So I'm going to grab my foam mat here, so I can use that. And let's see, we got to open up our ink spot. And I like Mossy Meadow. It's such a rich color. I think it's so beautiful. So I'm looking forward to that. we are going to be stamping. Now, I like to do a little scratch paper. So let me grab some scratch paper. Nice to have my printer right here so I could just grab a little scratch paper. All right, so let's start that again. Let's see what we get. Nice. Very pretty. My paper is a little bumpy, but that's going to be nice. All right, so we're going to be stamping that, and then we're going to also be using the With Love. Might as well go ahead and test them all. Nice, good job. Merry Christmas. I like the font on this Merry Christmas. That looks good. And then we have the wreath. Yeah, so all of those look really great. Very nice. Okay, so we are going to start with a gift for you. And get this inked up. And this is going to go right in the center, right here. Nice. Oh, that didn't stamp very good. Let's see if I can line that back up. Oh, well, that isn't how we want to start, but I'll live with it. Yeah, I agree, Wanda. That tip work has worked for me as well. I'm going to clean that stamp. I think I have stuff all over it now. It doesn't feel like it's a very deep stamp. So you can easily get, I guess, the back on your stamp. So that's no good. Now I'm just dropping things. Let me just pick this up. Sorry about that. All right. Well, we'll continue with this. I'm not excited about my stamp, but that's all right. We'll just continue with it. That doesn't happen very often, but there we go. All right, so we have our With Love on here, and then we have, I thought that. I need that little tag. It went to the wrong pile. There we go. We need this to do our Merry Christmas. And that's going to go right here. Nice. That looks really nice. Okay, so we're going to flip this over now, and we're going to stamp the wreath right on here. But do you see this? It's so pretty. I love that. Very, very pretty. Okay, so now we have our wreath. And looks like the little part that has just no leaves on it is kind of off to the bottom right when you stamp. There you go. So I don't know how well you can see that, but that looks so pretty on there. So very good. All right, so I think that's all the stamping for here. Now we are going to be layering some of these things onto the piece, and looks like we're going to be using the basic beige side. So we're going to put adhesive on this side, and then we're going to be using the old olive on that side. So we're going to put the adhesive on this piece, and we're going to have the adhesive going here, and then we have our little banner as well. And I think that's everything. So let's see what we have, what it calls for. So, my goodness. So we're going to have a little baby dimensional, a mini dimensional right there. And looks like we need to put a couple onto our little banner right here. And then I'm going to get my Take Your Pick tool to do some of these glue dots. So, oh, these are tiny. So we're just going to be placing these on here. Looks like one will go right there. And one right here. It's only asking for those two on there. Now it does say we're going to put dimensionals on this wreath. Now I'm kind of wondering about that, because these dimensionals I think are still bigger. So I'm going to cut mine down in half. Let's see. If I go ahead and cut right there, I can get this little half out of here. So one is going to go right here. I get that on there. It's still showing. I think that's better. All right, and then we need one more on this side. So if I get that other little half, it's going to go right here. You'd think, how can it even hold anything with those little bitty amounts of dimensionals, right? All right, so we are going to go ahead and put this together. So it looks like we are going to be putting this piece down first. And so I'm going to get the little cover off of here. And these kind of glue dots, I like to use my Take Your Pick tool to get those off. And so that's going to go right there. I think I have one little glue dot right here that wants to poke out. Get it under the tag. Otherwise, you'd be surprised how much things it can just go ahead and tack onto. All right, and then it looks like we're going to add this little fella, this other wreath, on top of him, on top of that one. Oh, maybe it went the other way. Maybe it was the other way. Let's see if I can gently undo it. There we go. All right, so we're going to go ahead and add this one first, but gotta make sure we get the dimensional on here. So it must go like this. There we go. Now we add this one on here. That's better. So that is what we have so far. All right, we just have to get them in the right order. All right, then we're going to add our Merry Christmas banner across the center of our wreath. I guess a little bit dropped here. There we go. And then our bow is going to go right up here at the top. And I'm just placing my dimensional just below that little hole where the tag is where my string is gonna go through. And then I can just tuck the little bow behind the label here. So then we need some of our linen thread, and it says we need 12 inches. So let me just cut off 12 inches of that. And that's going to go right through here. Guess I could have done this first. That's why I'm here. I make all the mistakes so you don't have to. Okay. All right. So now we're going to add a few of these red balls. So we got one that's going to go right here. And one that is going to go, I guess, well, I don't want it to go there. I'm going to put it up here. I don't like how that's going. And then we'll put one over here. And so there's our first tag. And we have our cute little stamp on the back. That's a little bit blurry on mine. But then if we oh, I needed to add this with the tie. So we need to add this to the back of here. And if we wanted, and we were putting it to the box at this point, we would add some dimensionals down the back of this tag to adhere it to the box. So let's see if I can get this back through here without too much trouble. There we go. Tags are very pretty. I don't know what you think, but I think they're really pretty. I like when they kind of swing like this. I always like that. And very, very nice. Okay. Very nice. All right, so let's do our other tag that we have here. Okay. So this looks like we are going to need the Sending a Little Christmas Cheer stamp. And this one has To Your House from Ours, but I'm not going to use, I'm going to use the With Love. And that's it for the stamping on this. So we just have one more that I have to put onto a block. Okay. And I think we will have time for our alternate. There's too much paper in there. Guess I grabbed more than one. whenever I was pulling the paper out of the printer. So let's see what we got. Beautiful. Sending a little Christmas cheer. Beautiful. All right, so that's going to go on the back of this tag right here with the with love. And we're going to make sure we do a good job this time. No messing around. Good job. Good job. And have you thought of how you will use your tags and your boxes? I guess I'll use some of them for some gift cards. All right, so that's what we have on here. Very nice. And then we will put our second tag together. So I am going to go ahead and put my string on because that was a little tedious before. And I don't think it'll hurt for me to go ahead and have that put together. So once again, 12 inches of the linen thread. Now we have some other fun threads available in the store right now, and so I may choose to bring and add that to this just for a little extra fun. But I have that white with the gold. I think that would be pretty. And I also think I have a red somewhere. I even have the garden green one. It's not the same green, but that might look good. And we have the early espresso. So I have all my little threads sitting right here, keeping me company. All right, so we are going to need to put some glue dots on a few of these. So that one we're going to be putting it on this side and this one on that side. And then we have another dimensional that will go onto the bow, same spot right there. And so let's go ahead and get our glue dots. And looks like we are going to add one right here. And I just try to follow the diagram, you know, because they've got the placement all figured out for what they designed. So I figure we should follow suit. All right. Then we're going to put some on this guy right here. And then down here. Now these will not be poking around and sticking out like the other one was initially. All right, so there we have it. All right, so looks like this one is going to go down first. So let me go ahead and get these off of here. It would be so easy to just tear one of those little leaves right off of there because they're really fragile. All right, so this is going to go right up here like so. And just want to make sure I don't have any, nope, no glue dots hanging off. All right, so now we are going to take the glue dot cover off of this side. And just two more. we go. And I'm just kind of layering this right on top of here. I think that's how they intended for that to be. And then we add our bow at the top up there as well. Like that. Very cute. So we have. So no words on the front of here, but we are going to add some of those red balls. I just have to figure out where they are placing them. All right, so let's see. Looks like they have one right here and one right here, and then another one right here. So it looks like maybe I can turn this just a tad. There we go. Now it's not interfering. But there is the second one. Very cute. They're very pretty. Very pretty. All right, so we should at least put one box together so that you can see how the box goes together before we move on to anything else. So the first thing I would do is go ahead and fold all the score lines, and everything seems to fold better when it's got a good crease on it. And is anybody traveling for Thanksgiving? We are in town, basically. We have to drive somewhere, but we're not going far. And I think that's everything. Okay, so the way this goes together is you kind of need to push your lid. This side is the lid. Kind of need to push it out this direction so that you can put your box together. And you got the two flaps on both sides. They're going to be pulled in like so. And then this piece wraps over and just pops right into that opening there. And that's the one side. And then the same thing happens on this side. Very easy little box to put together, just like that. Okay. And then you're going to fold this back over, and all the little flaps go on the inside. Okay. So that's super easy to put together. All right. And then, like I said, if we were going to go ahead and attach this, we could just put some dimensionals down here and just lay it across there. And you've got your little gift box all ready to roll. Now, I'm not going to tack anything down yet. I want to just figure out what I am going to do, but those are the two tags that the kit was intended to make. Now, I mentioned to you that I had come up with one idea, at least for a card. And so I'm going to show that to you. So we're going to use a basic beige card piece, and this is 5.5 by 8, scored at 4 1/4. And then I'm using the two-tone cardstock, and this is Old Olive. Okay, and so I'm going to use the lighter side on here like that. And then I have some other pieces of paper that I cut. And this is coming from the paper. I don't know if you have seen this before, but this is really beautiful. And I have to look and see if I can find the name of this, because I pulled everything out I think this is called Season of Elegance. It's number 164144. I think it's really beautiful. I'm also thinking about using the Christmas greenery paper and dies for future cards, because I've been trying to think, what could I do to coordinate with this? So we're going to go ahead and fold our card base, and I am going to need, well, we don't have to worry about that. So this piece right here is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay. So I just have a very little, a very small edge framing that piece. Okay. So I'm going to get my multi-purpose liquid glue. That's my favorite. And I want the light side up. So I want to make sure I get the paper in the right direction. And so we're going to just put this down right here, like so. Making sure I got it even on all sides. I cleaned off my bone folder. It was all gluey and sticky. Took some alcohol wipe to that. That made it better. All right, so then I have these 3 strips, and they are 4 inches by 1.5 inch. Okay, and you could do this in any direction you want on here, but I'm just gonna put them down with a little bit of crooked, haphazard kind of way. This is like my go-to card, in a sense. It's something I use a lot. Okay. And I think any of the tags would work with this. So I thought this would be a quick and easy way to show you an alternate out of the gate. So I thought, well, we'll just start with this. So I'm just going to start right here. And then I'm going to put the green down at the top. And I love the colors together. The mossy meadow, the old olive, and the cherry cobbler, which probably has a little bit of real red in it as well. And then we're going to have this one coming across here. And but I like that it has the old olive in the background, just giving it a little bit of cohesiveness. And so we're just gonna have that going just like so. Just scoot that over. There we go. Just like that. So just a little bit of fun papers behind there. And then literally you could just add your tag right to the top of here. And I would probably make this into a bow, right? I would probably tie a knot here and place a bow. And you could do this a couple of different ways. Like you could leave it a little bit so that it is like a tag and only adhere it by putting a little dimensional right up here at the top. And that way it still kind of moves a little bit on your card, or you could completely tack it down, okay, with dimensionals. So I'm going to go ahead and put it down. All right. So I'm going to put my little dimensional right up there at the top of my tag, and I'm going to put them there, and then I'm going to have one off to the side here. And so we're going to go ahead and put these down. Get the covers off the dimensionals like that. All right. And we're going to have this just a little bit slanted there, just like that. And so that is our first little alternate card. So, and I need to cut a white for the inside. You don't need a white for the inside, but I will probably put a layer in there just because I always do. And I love having the little bit of linen thread. Now, you could always bring in some other dimensionals or some other embellishments if you wanted. I was thinking like you could even cut this down and have the plaid as the strips in the back. You could do that. This would be the right size if you cut across and got rid of all the extra folded pieces. That would work just fine. But I think that's kind of cute. What do you think? So that's our first alternate for today. And I thank you all for joining me. I'll be back next week with some ideas for other alternates. I have seen before taking this box and making it into a shadow box, so I think I might try to do that on the inside of a card. And so I have some ideas for alternates for you guys next week. So thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And for those in the U.S., happy Thanksgiving. And I can't believe the next time I see you guys, it will be December already. That's just so shocking to me. So have a great week, everybody. Thanks for joining. Oh, thanks, Wanda. I appreciate that. Looking forward to it. So, all right. Bye, everybody.